everybody, I am Roxie Baeyens from Baguio City.
Hi, Roxie.
Hi, Voltaire.
So you're a motivational speaker of the course, what it means to win. But others experience the other side. So I'll ask you, what does it mean to lose?
Interesting because in my course, I also speak about what it means to lose. It's about being happy for the success of others because that alone is already a win. To be a winner, you have to embrace and be joyful for other people's wins in life.
Now, you've always come into the room as a ray of sunshine. Where does that infectious positivity come from?
I feel like I was always born with it. My mom would say I was very talkative as young as the age of 3. I would face the mirror and I would really have conversations with myself. So I think my bubbliness really comes from within. And I just love talking to people. I just love having conversations and creating relationships. That's why fun fact, I have a long history of winning Miss Congeniality.
You're already an accomplished beauty queen. Why risk your past accomplishments and join Miss Universe Philippines?
It just so happens that I was born with multiple dreams. And I just want to remind women that they are allowed to dream boldly, whether it be to be a mom, a businesswoman, an actress, a beauty queen. You are capable of achieving anything you set your mind and heart to. So I'm happy I pursued both, and I feel like a winner already because I pushed past fear and reached for the stars.
And why should you be the next Miss Universe Philippines?
Oh, well, I should be the next Miss Universe Philippines because in my experience of being an actress, I have had a deeper understanding of women. I have played broken women, hopeful women, enthusiastic women. And with those stories, I found pieces of myself. And that's the sole core of Miss Universe Philippines. It's really women empowerment. So I'm happy that I feel like I have a relationship with women. Therefore, I can advocate for them. And that's what it takes to become a Miss Universe.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Erica Jean Cadayday, an aspiring Miss Universe Philippines from Camiguin. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Now, Erica, which Miss Universe Philippines queen do you identify most with and why?
I really resonate with Miss Beatrice Luigi Gomez, our Miss Universe Philippines 2021, because just like her, I am quiet, but my purpose is very loud. And just like her, I was raised with a single mother. And I've also known that she worked as a reservist at the Philippine Navy, which she embodies discipline and the heart of service. And I also have that too. Thank you.
You went through a difficult time when you were a fourth-year college student. Tell us what happened then and what you learned from that experience.
Honestly, I was, raised by foster parents and they treated me as their own. But there was a time when we struggled financially. We had a very big debt and my foster mother left us. I was left with my foster dad that is, a stroke patient. It was really hard because I had to balance being an intern, a raquetera, and a daughter. But with everything that's happening, trust me, I went to the nearest church in my place. I prayed and communicated with God with all my heart.
What have been your best memories from your Miss Universe Philippines journey?
My best memory is when we have early call times. As a nocturnal, I tend to, oversleep. But with the early call times, I have to push myself to wake up early in the morning. And then I step out on my terrace and then I see the very beautiful view. It makes me appreciate what God has made and how beautiful life can be.
And why should you be the next Miss Universe Philippines?
I should be the next Miss Universe Philippines because I am ready to represent our country with the dedication and authenticity. Being true to my values, most especially having a heart of service, to help the street workers because I was raised by one. Fun fact, I helped my mother remove weeds from the streets. I helped her sell barbecue. And as a labandera, for an exchange, small payment. But we never gave up because I have a dream and I have a dream for my family as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I'm Patricia Evangelista, representing Quezon Province and the Filipino Society of Australia.
Good day, Ella.
Good day po.
So you grew up in a community of 30 people. Tell us where that was and how that shaped the woman you are today.
Yeah, so that was in Baisong in Padre Burgos. And there's in that community of 30 people, there's only 2 kids. And I only had one book that I kept on rereading as a child. And that is why I was so eager to go to school. Because that means I could play with more kids, I could read more books. And actually my advocacy, which is helping improve access to quality education, was shaped in that community.
Now, you have a deep admiration for the governor of Quezon Province, Dr. Helen Tan. What is it about her that you find very inspiring?
We actually both come from humble beginnings. And Dr. Helen Tan, so she really looks after the people of Quezon. So in Quezon, we have 39 municipalities and 2 cities. And she actually travels to each one of them, even those most remote island. And it's her servant leadership and compassionate nature and her ability to uplift other people. That's what I really admire about her. And I also aspire to be like her.
Now, can you tell us a little bit more about your work as an engineer?
Yeah, so I work as a project engineer in Australia. So we connect those renewable sources like wind farm, solar farm to the grid, and we are leading Australia's transition to clean energy future. And I was actually so proud of that because when I was a kid, we didn't have access to reliable electricity.
And why should you be the next Miss Universe Philippines?
I was born through veil birth. It's an extremely rare event that happens in less than 1 in 80,000 births. So the midwife told my mom that this girl is so special. She's so lucky and she's destined to do something great. And I guess that's true because even if I come from that small island and even if I didn't have a complete family, I ended up living a life full of opportunities. And I am working actively to share the good fortune to others. And with the crown, I can share my heart to more people. Thank you po.
Thank you, Quezon Province.
Aloha and naimbag nga aldao. I'm Charieze Cacayorin, proudly representing Ilocos Norte and the Filipino Society of Hawaii.
Aloha, Charieze.
Aloha.
So you moved to Hawaii at 8 years old and have grown up there since. Many Filipinos would instantly think that's a dream. But for you, what has that been like?
For me, it was definitely a struggle growing up. I see so many Filipinos around me. Actually, the Filipino population is the second largest in Hawaii, but for some reason, the Filipinos feel ashamed of their own culture. So I always felt like I needed to fit myself into a certain mold to fit in. But I realized later on that I should be proud of who I am, and that's what I'm trying to teach the next generation of Filipinos in Hawaii to be.
Now, you mentioned that you worked, let me get this right, 10 jobs in 10 years. What was the most fun and which one you would never want to do again?
Oh, my most favorite job is my job right now as an educator because I get to meet new leaders, new students, so that they can be feeling more empowered to be our next generation of leaders and to lead us into having a better future. But the job that I hated the most would probably be my subway job because I hated smelling like vegetables by the end of the day.
Now, a lot of young people struggle with their mental health. You've bravely shared your own bouts with depression. What got you through it, and what advice do you have for those in the same situation?
Having depression was a very difficult time in my life, but what I reminded myself is that there was still that little girl inside of me who wanted to see great things. So actually the very first step that I took to step out of that depression was to join a pageant, and it allowed me to not only feel more confident in myself, but to empower others to remember that they still can dream big no matter what mental state they're in.
And why should you be the next Miss Universe Philippines?
Coming into this journey, I knew that I'm not only representing my fellow Ilocanos, but the entire Filipino diaspora. I know what it's like to be stuck between cultures, but I've also discovered the power of finding your purpose through identity. And as an educator and community leader, I'm dedicated to being that bridge to Filipinos from all across the universe so that they can feel proud of who they are and where they come from, and that they can feel seen and represented. I believe this is a fresh perspective this organization deserves, and I'm ready to step into that role.
Hello everyone, my name is Jacqueline Gulrajani. I'm representing Tacloban City.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi, hello.
So it wasn't too long ago that this young woman started from scratch. Was being a beauty queen in your plans from the beginning, and what have you learned from it?
Honestly, being a beauty queen was not really in the map for me. The opportunity landed on my lap, and something changed last time when I got the opportunity to host backstage the Miss Universe Philippines swimsuit competition. I understood what this platform truly means and what it can do and the impact that it can bring to so many more women. And that is the lesson that it has brought me or has taught me. Being a beauty queen is being a leader, a thought leader, and actually making long and lasting impact.
Now, you shared something deeply personal about your mom and wanting to change that from your childhood. How do you think your mom would respond to it upon seeing her daughter at Miss Universe Philippines?
My mom is super proud, and I'm truly my mother's daughter. You know, she had me at 18. She had to give up her studies in order to raise me. And with her, I learned, or I really want to create a world where women can choose themselves as well. You know, there are even times when I think, had I not been born, it would be better because I would have loved for her to pursue her dreams. But now I think that we can change the narrative, and that is what I want to do. That is my mission as a beauty queen.
What gives you the greatest joy?
Greatest joy for me, transformations. Me starting from scratch, from nothing, 10,000 pesos coming to Manila, and, you know, changing my life and changing the narrative. When I see people change their lives for the better, it really makes me so happy, and I'm so grateful to be part of the lives of my mentees as well.
And why should you be the next Miss Universe Philippines?
I believe I should be the next Miss Universe Philippines because it is my job not only to be seen, but I think the true job of a beauty queen is to make other people feel seen. And that's what I've already been doing, and I want to amplify my voice. I look at this crown as a microphone, as a platform to truly make a difference.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alicia Buendia, representing the province of Rizal and the Filipino Society of Southern California. I'm so excited to talk to you all today.
So you're a degree
Yes, I am.
fitness instructor. Now, not many people are familiar with that. So tell us what it is and what got you into it.
Legree is a high intensity but low impact workout, and I actually got in it because of my sister. It's something that bonded us together. It's become our form of motivation and also stress relieving by being able to work out together, by being able to uplift each other with our workouts. So through that, I found teaching and how passionate I am for it, to be able to uplift others to take care of their bodies at any age, because it promotes longevity, it promotes wellness in all aspects of our life.
Now, even though you grew up in Southern California, you have a very fond memories about the Philippines during your
Yes.
childhood. Can you share some of that?
One of my fondest memories is actually visiting my lolo's house in Teresa, Rizal, and my cousins and I were bonding outside in the backyard, adventuring with each other, and just playing with the dragon fruit trees. And being there made me realize one of the most important things is that no matter where you grow up, whether that's in the US or here, we're bonded by our one Filipino value, which is our love for our family. And through that, I realized that Pinoys are globally connected together, no matter where you grow up, no matter how far it is from each other.
And which Filipina do you admire most and why?
I really admire Alex Ayala, not only in her win for the game, but also the fact that she brings Philippines in every court she enters, in every area she's in. And just like Alex, I hope to show my Filipino community wherever I am, whether that's 7,000 miles away in the US or here in the Philippines. It's something that never left her and something that she instills wherever she is.
And why should you be the next Miss Universe Philippines?
I should be the next Miss Universe Philippines because I stand here not only as a representation of my province and my state, but as a bridge between two worlds. I've been able to find the common denominator between the US and here, and that is our drive for our life, our love above all factor, that no matter where we are, we have that drive, that motivation for our career, that we'll be successful and want to care for others wherever we are. So just like that, I should be the next Miss Universe Philippines because I'm that force for change, for transformation for everyone.
Thank you very much, Rizal.
Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jayka Munsayac, proudly representing San Jose Negros Oriental and the Filipino Society of Bellevue, Washington.
Now, you said you enjoyed car rides with your mom growing up.
Oh, yes, definitely.
What were those like, and why did you love them so much?
So I grew up an only child, and my mom also had me at the age of 19. Well, got pregnant at 19 and had me at age 20. So I like to say my mom and I grew up together. Everything I've learned is from her, and also my Lola, who had my mom at a young age as well. So car rides with her, just singing songs, talking about so many stories, and also remembering that my mom is living life for the first time, and being able to have those shared memories with her in the car is just one of my fondest memories of learning everything. And I definitely get my music taste from her, 2000s for sure.
Growing up, you didn't see yourself as a beauty queen. What changed and got you into MEPH?
So actually, I grew up doing acting and modeling back in Los Angeles, and my whole life I was always told, oh, you should join Miss Universe Philippines one day. I could definitely see you being a beauty queen, but I never saw it in myself. Once I graduated school early, I graduated at the age of 20, 3 years, in just 3 years with the 3 degrees. I finally thought, why not? I said, why not take a leap and just learn more about myself and be able to have this great experience with Miss Universe Philippines, and I'm truly just so grateful to be here.
Yeah, so you're a magna cum laude graduate, multi-degreed individual at 20 years old.
Thank you, Sir B.
What are these and what's next for you?
Sure. So I have a bachelor's degree in journalism with a minor in English and an associate's degree in social sciences. What's next is actually law school. I'm very passionate about youth and civic engagement, so I really want to go to law school for sports and entertainment, but also reminding our youth that they are able to use their voice to make a difference. I think in 2020, I realized that there's nothing worse than feeling hopeless in what our future is like, so reminding our youth and making those differences and using their voice and having that responsibility to go out and vote and do our duty is really important, and what I hope to do with a law degree.
And why should you be the next Miss Universe Philippines?
I think I should be the next Miss Universe Philippines because I've witnessed firsthand how powerful a platform used with purpose can be. I grew up on social media, and I know that it's a big responsibility, and we should always use this. So with a crown on my head, it should also just be a crown in action, led with empathy, led with integrity, and also just being the Filipina and Filipino American I inspire to be, and also to inspire the younger generations to be the same.
Thank you so much, San Jose Negros Oriental.
Thank you, Sir V. Thank you, judges. I appreciate it.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adela Marshall, and I am representing Muntinlupa.
Hello, Adela. How has growing up in both the United Kingdom and the Philippines shaped Adela today?
I believe that as a person of dual heritage, my life has always been shaped by contrasts. So I've spent Christmases both having a Sunday roast lunch watching the Queen's speech, but also Noche Buena and karaoke at midnight. And I believe it's through these dualities that I learned a woman doesn't have to be one thing, I don't have to be one thing, and neither should the next Miss Universe.
Now, you seem to be addicted to learning beyond your bachelor's degree. Tell us what this is about and what courses do you like to take?
For me, education is such a privilege. I learned recently that I was not the first to think of this line, but education is the one thing that no one can take away from you. And it's important to me because I think with education comes the most opportunity. when you have opportunities and choices, that is the most impactful position to be in. The courses I like to take often depend on my current interests. So I've studied in the past corporate responsibility, but also narrative economics. So whatever interests me at the moment.
Now, you were the runner-up in Asia's Next Top Model. How is that experience different from MUPH? Is it easier or more difficult?
Both are challenging because, of course, you want to do both well in both of them. I think the biggest difference for me is competing in real time and competing in a bubble. But at the same time, I also see them as completely different disciplines that needed the respect. So for MEPH, I really had to train a lot more. I was very young, in my opinion, when I competed on my previous competition. So now I feel that I know myself more. So I take all of the learnings I've had since that time and bring it with me to this competition.
And why should you be the next Miss Universe Philippines?
The short answer is because I'm ready. I have obviously represented the Philippines in the past. I've had that privilege, but I never did it with a sash across my heart. And sa totoo lang, I really felt that I had to earn that right. But it's here in the Philippines that I became a woman. It's the country that I serve with my advocacy, empowering the next generation through literacy. But I also graduated here and worked here and overcame personal hardship here. So now I feel that I really have the experience to represent not just the best version of myself on the international stage, but also the best version of a Filipina.
Thank you very much, Muntinlupa.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope your brains are still alive. I know you've heard a lot of girls. Thank you for making the time for me. Good afternoon. My name is Ysabella Ysmael, or Bella for short, and I'm here representing Taguig City.
Hi, Bella.
Hello.
So, aside from being a beauty queen, I know you're a businesswoman. Tell us about what your businesses are and how do you manage to juggle all of them at the same time?
Yes, so I have a couple of businesses, one of them being my own ballet school, because I'm a ballerina actually. And I also have a sunglasses business. And I actually started business with a swimwear brand. And one of the lessons that I've learned being a businesswoman is that my greatest capability as a woman is my ability to be or to wear different hats. And juggling all of that, I know a lot of people will say it's time management. However, I think it's really all about managing your passions and allowing yourself to just thrive in every single industry.
What has been your biggest learning from this second time around in Miss Universe Philippines?
Yes, it's my second time. So for those of you who haven't know, I was here in 2020, one of the first batches. And I guess this time around, I feel that in the past 6 years, I've been able to grow. I've been able to expand. Like you said, in business, I've gone from being a ballerina to a businesswoman, a teacher. And this time around, I think I'm more of a whole woman. I don't think I'm ever going to be really a solid formed human because we're always growing, we're always in motion, always learning. But I'm happy to be here today to express that I'm completely grown from 2020, and I'm excited to continue to tell that in my story.
Now, you seem to have a serious and no-nonsense look a lot of the times. We'd love to hear something very fun and interesting thing about you.
Do I? Don't be fooled by my voice. Something interesting about me. I recently became an indoor cycling instructor, and I feel like that's so different from my ballerina side. So I feel like I'm allowed to be raw and real and rough in that space. And one of the things that my students tell me that they love about me is that I growl when I teach. I go, let's go! You know, things like that. So I think what's beautiful about that is that I can kind of like let go and let loose and stray beyond the lines. And that's what I love about the variety of my life. Just being able to be different types of Bella.
And why should you be the next Miss Universe Philippines?
My favorite question. I believe the Philippines deserves a representative who is a modern Filipina. And for me, a modern Filipina is somebody who's not afraid to make moves. I believe that's who I am. I've gone from being a ballerina to becoming a ballet teacher, and now I own my own ballet school. I do things that are outside of what people expect me to do. And I hope that this is something that I can inspire other Filipinas to know that they are capable of whatever it is that they want to chase. Because when a Filipina decides to take a step forward, the whole universe takes that step forward with her.
Thank you so much, Taguig.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Ako po si Bea Millan-Windorski, representing La Union Province.
Hello, Bea. I'm over here.
Hello!
Now, oftentimes, there are people who say that Filipino beauty queens of mixed heritage aren't Filipino enough. How do you convince them otherwise?
I actually studied Filipino history for as long as I could remember. I was the first in my U.S. history class to actually bring up that the Philippines used to be a U.S. colony, but to take pride in the strength of our heritage. I also obtained a degree in Southeast Asian Studies and tried my best to learn Tagalog. And growing up in a predominantly white area, I've always been an ambassadress of Filipino heritage and culture and have been the first to share our strength, our warmth with the world, and I'm ready to do that internationally.
Now, speaking of Filipino beauty queens, which Filipino beauty queen do you admire most and why?
The first ever Manila Carnival queen, Yura Villanueva Calao. because she used her platform to advocate for women's suffrage, and she viewed the crown not just as an opportunity for herself, but actually to build the very identity of what the Philippines is today. And that's something really amazing about pageantry, is the first ever pageant in the Philippines was one of the only sanctioned ways to express national identity. So it's also really woven into our fabric.
Now, tell us something very interesting about you that would surprise people.
I really love music, and I grew up playing the cello, so I'm really sad that there's no talent competition, but I'm excited to share my talent with the world. I also love jazz music, and I taught myself stand-up bass just so I could join my high school's jazz band. And something that people are starting to learn about me is I also love to dance, and I'm pretty good at budaks too.
Why should you be the next Miss Universe Philippines?
There's a motivation crisis in the Philippines. Far too often, people dream of going abroad, just like my family. But I dreamed in the opposite direction, and I packed my life into suitcases and balikbayan boxes and moved away from the life I knew because I believe in the future for all Filipinos here locally, so that we're not forced to go abroad and be separated from our families in order to survive and in order to thrive. And I'm ready to bring back the fifth crown for the Philippines because I believe us Filipinos deserve hope and dignity.